So this letter looks pretty good. It's reaching out to a homeowner saying they're representing a buyer and maybe have some interest in buying a home in that area. But I do think there's an ability to make this a little bit more specific, a little bit more tailored to the specific example so it doesn't look super generic. And that's something that you can use Chat GPT for. So I did this earlier and I wanted to show you how you can use Chat GPT. And generally speaking, I would say the main thing to be aware of with ChatGPT is it's fully dependent on the input. So the quality of the input that you give it will determine the quality of that output that you receive. And so what I said is, can you write a letter acting as a realtor, reaching out to homeowners in the South Shores neighborhood? Specifically, I'd like to say that I have a fully pre-qualified buyer who is eager to move into the South Shores neighborhood. Mention they have a family, their kids go to South Shores Elementary, they go to Royal Palms Beach often and are motivated buyers. And in general, what I just try to do is give it some information about the area. So the schools, maybe one of the parks nearby. And ChatGPT gave me this here. So it said, "Dear South Shores homeowner, I hope this letter finds you well. My name is," insert name here. "I'm a realtor at so-and-so company. I'm writing to you because I'm currently assisting a wonderful family who are keen to move into our esteemed South Shores neighborhood," etc., etc. And so what's nice is it took the input that I provided. So for example, talking about South Shores Elementary, Royal Palms Beach, talking about the community here, talking about the fact that we're trying to get an off-market opportunity potentially. So I think this text works well. And so what I can do is just copy this here. I can move back over to this letter. Once again, it's really easy to edit, so I can just paste it in there. This is really long for this current letter, so we're going to have to do some adjustments here. So let's narrow it down a little bit, make it as small as we can. We can get rid of this bottom text because we don't hear about that. Let's see, we can actually widen it as well. And let's make this text a little bit bigger. Closer. Let's see. Okay, that works. Let's see. Any last changes we can make? Okay, so now we have this letter. And honestly, I probably would make this a little bit smaller, just take out some of this text just to make it aesthetically a little bit more appealing to start reading instead of just a giant block of text. But just for the purpose of this video, we'll leave it as is. And so that's ChatGPT in a nutshell, is basically being able to come up with a general prompt that you want. You can have it do it again. So I can say, can you create a similar prompt or the same prompt, but focus more on the client's ability to close quickly, no hassle, inspection, etc. So basically what we can do is just try to tailor the message a little bit. So maybe if there's a specific reason that my buyer has a lot of interest in the area, I can do that. So ChatGPT will make it easy just to kind of continue to experiment. And maybe you don't like that this specific prompt returned what it did. You can always just have it regenerate the same prompt and try again. So a good free resource to use. And what I thought we could also add to this letter was a QR code here to try to get people to engage with that letter, try to have some reason for people to put in some information, leave like a name and an email address that I would be notified, but at the same time, give them some information that's of value to them. And so what's really great about this service is usually if you're trying to implement QR codes into anything, usually you need to have a third-party service that you can actually create these QR codes and then download it and then import it into this system. But what's nice about this application is the fact that you can just create QR codes just straight within the application itself. So for example, I have this QR code on the left column over here, and I actually have these QR codes that I already just added to the system. So just for example, I have my phone up now and I have these QR codes that I've already entered in here. So I have this contact information QR code here. What this does is when someone scans this QR code, it'll automatically throw in your business card. So they can just click this now, it'll auto-populate the number, the email address, the company name and website, and the work address as well. I threw in this one. That would automatically take people to a NetSheet calculator, and if they fill this information out for themselves, it'll prompt them to leave a phone number or an email address. And then lastly, I have this home valuation one. And what this one does is automatically generates a text message. So all someone has to do is hit send. So it pre-creates the text message and preloads your phone number. So all someone has to do is hit send, and they'll be having a text message sent to you really quick. So what's nice about this system is the fact that it is really easy to create these. So just to show you this first one, creating this business card, all I have to do is select add QR code here. Then I can select contact right here. I can name it, business card QR code. All I have to do now is fill out information now. Now it'll create this QR code for me, continue on downwards. Another one that I can do is the SMS. So that's a text message. So all you have to do is put in a phone number and a message. Now all you have to do is select submit. It'll create that QR code for you. And then the other one was the lead gen calculator. So that would just be a URL, so a website. And so this specific feature that I was mentioning is from Fidelity Agent 1. If you don't have this application, I think this is not only just an application that's really worthwhile and worth having within your business, but I think this specific feature is one as well that will be a great sales funnel for you moving forward. So what I can do now is go to these lead gen calculators, and how these work is if someone, and in this case, is scan the QR code, they get taken to a website. And in this specific case, what this website does is it has them fill out a NetSheet. It'll have your information on there. So it'll look something like this with your name, your headshot, your company. All they can, or what they can do now is enter in a home price, their loan balance. They can select go. It'll show them how much they can make if they sold their property. You can say, want to find out how much your house is worth. They can select yes, leave a name and an email address. There's other options you can use too. So it can be a calculator that shows them how much they can make if they did sell their property, and if they did use those proceeds to buy a new property, what type of property they can buy moving forward, rent versus buy calculators, anything like that. So what we can actually do is make that into a QR code too. So that way these letters can be something that people engage with. There's something for them to scan, potentially text you, get your business card information on their phone, or even have like a lead capture option. So in this case, what we can do, let's say we wanted to use this NetSheet one, so the lead capture. All you have to do is click the QR code, and then what you can do now is resize this really easily. I can bring this over to the bottom right. Now I can select text. Let's add body text here. So let's click it. Then we can drag it over. We'll say scan this QR code to see, let's say to see, move it over actually. Scan this QR code to see how much you could make if you sold your home. Let's maybe reformat this a little bit. So let's bring it in, and then let's see if we can center the text. And maybe we'll move this up a little bit. Looks good. Cool. Okay, so now we have this letter pretty much created. The text was generated from Chat GPT. We have QR codes now that create a lead capture option with every one of these letters. So you have the potential to get these people's contact information. We could have done a text message one as well, or just a business card, and that way people can have your business card moving forward.